Yeah, it's gone okay. I mean, it's always good to get out and get finally on the field and live games and see him pitching and stuff like that. But you know, you see the rust, just seeing live pitching for the first time and whatnot offensively. But we've gotten continuously better. Just challenge the guys, you know. I don't want them thinking that this is spring training. Like, we got to get going. We got to be ready. There's no spring training game, so that first game you got to be ready. So we got to utilize these as spring training games, but to get ourselves ready. But you know, I can't go through the motions. So just got to get after it this weekend. But this is a better test. This second weekend's always the kind of true measuring stick of where you're at. Now that everybody's kind of got a bunch of at-bats underneath them, and it's more comfortable in the box and comfortable on the mound, and kind of get a better idea where we're at, you know, after these next 3 days. But you know, I'm excited where we're at so far. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of jobs that are open, a lot of jobs that are up in the air. I mean, I'd tell you 75% of the jobs are rotation. How we're gonna get that set up, still up in the air. So, and then again, this is the next 3 weeks trying to figure out the lineup and the batting order and the rotation and who our best bullpen guys are. I mean, every day is an opportunity to prove yourself and prove to us where you can do and where you should be at and how much trust we should put in you. And so, you know, every day is important, and trying to take advantage of all that. Great. I mean, from the get-go, I mean, we have a big group of 19 guys, but they've really gelled with the team really, really fast. And that's been fun to watch. I mean, that's kind of the big thing, that you really can't make big growth steps until everybody kind of is together on the same page. And so that happened really, really quick. I felt like the guys, you know, gelled with the returners, and they kind of have showed them the way and what the expectations are. And you know, kind of, the games are always the truest test. So, but you know, we're on the right path. We're where we need to go, and we just got to continue to grind and continue to kind of work and hopefully get there. Yeah, for the most part, I think. I mean, the guys that we thought were really going to be game changers have been really good. But there's always been there's always a few surprises, and there's still a lot of time. I mean, so like I said, a lot of jobs are still open. Still wanting to see some guys kind of hit that turn and make that jump that you kind of expect. But I think this is the weekend where that kind of stuff will happen. Now that everybody's a little more comfortable and prepared. You know, we don't really try to put a lot of expectations on us in terms of like a record or anything like that. And you know, it's really hard to win a championship. Our goal is to try to be the best team that we possibly can. We do want to raise the bar of the program, though. And you know, that's not really measured necessarily by championships or wins. It's just measured by where the program is at, and you know, where we're standing at the end of the year. And you can do a lot of different things. You don't have to win a conference championship to go to the World Series. You don't have to come in second place to go to the World Series. So it's just about being the best team that we can be, but trying to take the program, move it forward, and just do that by going out every day and trying to make ourselves better, push each other, and you know, and try to do what we can. So they understand that, and you know, they've done a good job. And we'll just kind of take it day by day and try to get where we need to go. Yeah, I mean, all the returners have to take a leadership position just because we don't have a lot of returners. So all those guys have done a great job. But again, expectation-wise, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for them. They're not coming out of nowhere. Everybody knows who they are. They're game planning for them now. They've got a lot of tape and experience on facing Joe and facing Rylan, and so they'll have a better plan of how to attack them. And so, you know, those guys got to be prepared to adjust and make the adjustments on the adjustments. And so, you know, they've had great falls. They've done a great job. It's just, again, going to be you know, they're physically in better shape. They're better than where they're at talent-wise last year, just in terms of, you know, working on some of the deficiencies that they had. But at the end of the day, now it becomes an adjustment game. This game is just so much about making adjustments. So they're going to have to see what happens those first couple weekends and how people are pitching them and how people are facing Joe, and make the necessary adjustments in order to have similar seasons. I mean, we're going to be a lot more. We're going to be more speed and athleticism at the top of the line, but I think it's going to put a lot more pressure on people. You know, obviously neither of them. I mean, Micah has the experience, so Ray doesn't have the experience that a Hamlin and a Putnam do. But physically gifted, the speed is obviously an uptick, and so I think, you know, I'd really like to see those guys raise hell on the base pass and really put pressure on guys and really make it uncomfortable and you know, be gnats out there, so that when Rylan and Osick and Beaver are up, that, you know, those pitchers aren't 100% focused on those guys, but they got to focus on what's on the bases. That's going to end up leaving a lot more stuff that Beaver and those guys and Rylan can kind of take advantage of and do some damage. Yeah, Osick and Beaver, Dallas Beaver will probably be 3, 4, 5 in the lineup somewhere. I don't know what the order will be just yet, but I think those 3 guys have really stepped up. Dallas had a great summer. Osic's just a professional hitter, and he just has a very mature approach, very even-keeled up there when he gets up there. So, and those 3 guys have done a great job proving themselves to kind of be middle-of-the-order type guys. And where they'll hit 3, 4, 5, I'm not really sure, but you know, be based on matchups and you know how they do the next couple weeks. But you know, I think those guys will, and again, will be able to take advantage of the fact that Mike and Alejo will be ahead of him and on base a lot. Both. I think him and George and Heiser will kind of split the catching duties, with Beaver DHing and even maybe seeing a little bit of third base, depending on again the matchups and how the next 2 weeks go. George is. He's our best defensive guy. I mean, he'll be in there late in the game a lot, probably every day if it's close. And he just has done a good job. Has the experience. Did it last year. You know, obviously Logan, we put a lot of faith in him. Been a starter for 3 years, and obviously with his hips and stuff, you really can't run him out there every day. But you know, you trust all 3 of them really, especially Logan and George, just because they've done it last year. You know, and Beaver has made humongous strides in the last 12 months as a catcher, and has really done a great job. So I mean, I have a lot of faith in all 3 of those guys that they all can catch. But the game plan would be to try to get George, obviously, in the game late, because he is the best. But if it's not, like, I'm not worried. He just happens to be being the best guy. We're a lot more athletic, a lot more team speed, a little bit more defensive, I think. So you know, that's going to help us. You know, we still need to be better offensively, tougher at bats, and you know, just be, you know, give the opposing pitcher a little bit more difficult time trying to get us out from top to bottom, just a consistency basis. And again, the biggest difference is just going to be, you know, really 5 through 9 is not going to have a lot of Division I experience, and a lot of junior college experience, but not a lot of Division I experience. And so it's really going to be more about just the time that they get and how fast they grow up. They have the physical attributes and the talent. It's just they don't have the experience. So the games are going to be their time to grow up, and we just got to be able to take the lumps and be able to handle the day-to-day grind, and there's going to be some struggles, and the guys just got to be prepared for that and be able to handle it mentally. I mean, every team is different, every player is different. I mean, we spend a lot of time on the mental game, so if I did my job right, it probably won't take as much time as you'd hope, but you just never know. Everybody's going to be different, and you just got to take it on a game-by-game day of, okay, where are we at, and are we on the right path, and are we moving in the right direction? And if we're doing that, then I'm happy. And you know, I think we have the mental acuity to do it. You know what I mean? It's just you got to now get into the situation where you got to use the tools that we've given them to handle the stress and the failure and the ups and downs, and they're equipped. It's just how quickly can they put it into the game. You know, we'll probably have a better idea on Monday. You know, after this weekend, again, because we definitely want to make sure that the rotation is set. I don't want there to be a lot of routine changes going from the last week of practice to the first week of games. So if a guy has to move up a day and now his routine is off because he has one less day to prepare, I don't want that. I'd rather have that happen and then do it before the third week of practice, and then they go back to their normal routine for that full week. So we'll kind of have a much better idea, you know, at the end of this week on how guys throw. I mean, hopefully guys stand out. I mean, obviously there could be some battles that are still going out there, and then we maybe have to wait another week, but hopefully have an idea where we can set, you know, the guys on a certain date that at least we have a better idea of where they're going. Yeah, I mean, Griff Bernardo, obviously a freshman, local kid from Lake Brantley, has done a great job. You know, it's typical freshman. I mean, has his ups and downs, and he's still learning. But he's the most talented guy over there, but, you know, the most talented guy doesn't always play. So, I mean, we've moved Ray Alejo in and out from the outfield because he's a natural infielder. Dallas Beaver has played a lot of third base. Jackson Webb. I mean, I think between Alejo, Beaver, and Bernardo, I mean, those are the 3 guys that kind of lead in the pack, and I'd probably say Griff is probably the leader as of today. But a lot of time before now and then to make that kind of decision. Yeah, you got to be a little bit crazy, be able to handle big situations, and then have a short memory, and be able to kind of have a confidence no matter what. If your confidence is based on your last appearance as a closer, you're in trouble because you're going to fail and you're going to lose games. You get all the pressure. You know, to me, the baseball players, always, you know, guys, high school guys, they want to be starters. I want to start. The problem to me is the guys that really care, like, they want to be at the back end, because you can give up 5 runs in 5 innings and people pat you on the back and tell you did a great job. You give up 1 run in 1 inning as a closer, and you're a failure. And so there's a lot more pressure. It's a lot more difficult. But the game's on the line, and if as a competitor, like, those are the type of guys you want. And so you got to be competitive. You got to have a short memory. You got to be a little bit crazy, because there's a lot more adrenaline in the 9th inning than there is in the 1st inning. And so Bryce fits the thing perfect. It's amazing. The best players I've ever had as closers are like Jekyll and Hyde, like where when they're outside the diamond, they're one way, and then when they cross over the line, they're totally different. And Bryce is that way. If you talk to him off the field, you would never know that the intensity that he has on the mound, you would never notice that. He's this really nice kid, like great kid, like, and when he goes on the mound, he doesn't look like that. He looks crazed and that kind of stuff. And I love that. I mean, that's the exciting part. It was funny how we found it, because it was really luck. You don't get to see that until you get put in a situation like that. And he gets his first outing last year, and it's like, whoa, who's that? Like, it was a different player. And it's just as when the lines cross and there's people in the stands, like, Bryce morphs into this really confident, like, a little bit nuts, like, kid, and it works for him. And he's really taken that role and that kind of personality and really made it really a success.